In Washington, the U.S. House passed a measure to raise the nation's debt limit and to keep the government's ability to pay its bills in place.
It was a party line vote, and Republicans are frustrated because they say Democrats are not taking their input.
Central Michigan Congressman Tim Walberg spoke with political reporter Rick Albin about that earlier today.
Congressman, you've been in Washington long enough to see some pretty interesting times, but this has to be right up there with them with all of the activity. You just got back from Washington last night with a vote to raise the debt ceiling that had already been done over in the Senate. You've got a continuing resolution that I think runs out in December. You've got the potential of two big infrastructure plans that the White House has been pushing. And oh yes, there's all the other work that has to be done. Give me an idea of where you think we're headed on any of those issues, because there's a lot of unfinished business there.
Well, Rick, it is the most unusual time I've ever experienced in Washington, D.C., and that came after sitting at the inauguration and hearing President Biden say this is going to be a unifying administration. It's not Democrat, not Republican, it's American, and we're going to work together. That hasn't happened. We haven't had one single bipartisan effort that's gone on. And that culminated yesterday as far as what we've done so far with the debt ceiling hike. And again, it was done in the House, not bipartisan at all. It was a straight party line vote again, with unwillingness to even negotiate about what we could do to make the debt ceiling hike work, by also saying, let's recognize we've been spending too much money. Trillions of dollars. It just rolls off our tongue anymore. Trillions, trillions, trillions. $13 trillion have been spent since 2019 when the Democrats took control of the House. If we put through this most recent Build Back Better, and I'd say Build Back Worse plan. So that is all in the background, and this debt ceiling was to give the opportunity to move those agenda items forward. Those of us who believe that we need to start paring back and putting ourselves in a conservative stance, recognizing we've had to spend a lot for COVID, but now is the time to start setting priorities and rolling back a bit. None of that was considered. So we'll see what happens. But I think right now, the Democrats who control the House, the Senate, and the White House, it's their responsibility to move forward with what they want. We're certainly going to push. We're going to try to negotiate if we can. But that hasn't happened. And so now we're looking at the Democrats split amongst themselves. One side that wants more. So, you know, Bernie Sanders says $6 trillion isn't enough. AOC agrees with him. Then the other side of the ledger says, with Manchin, he says $1.5 trillion. But that's still more spending than we've ever done in the United States history with just that. So that sounds conservative with Manchin, but it's not. And I think America is starting to look at it with the inflation going on right now, which is a tax on everyone. From a president who said, I'm not going to tax anybody that makes less than $400,000 a year. We're all getting taxed now. And those with least capability of paying, really proportionally, are going to be spending more. And now we're looking at Christmas being hurt.
Before we leave, and I got a little time left here, say that while all of that is going on, we've had a couple of occasions this week to talk about bipartisan efforts where actual policy is being dealt with. You and one of your Democratic colleagues have introduced legislation that would deal with the ongoing issue of lead and the impact it has, particularly on children. Tell me what that legislation would do.
Well, Rick, I appreciate that, because there are still some bipartisan things happening between legislators, and we've been very successful, in fact, named the most bipartisan legislator in the Michigan delegation, and one of the top in Congress altogether, and still a conservative. But this one was with Representative Tonko from New York, good friend of mine, a Democrat. He's the chairman of the Environmental Subcommittee on Energy and Commerce. And looking at lead, which is a big deal in Michigan, it hit us first, and now we're looking all over the country. We thought, let's key in on children and find means by which we can measure better, we can prevent lead poisoning in children's lives and impact on that. And that's what this bill will attempt to do, with giving more oversight to make sure that we are cognizant of lead for everybody, but specifically for children.
Congressman, as always, we appreciate your time.
Great to be with you.